Oh, there's always such a mess. Let me get this crap cleaned up just a little bit, and then we'll get into the video. Okay, I think we're clean enough. Okay, so as you probably know, this is another product video. Another Vevor product. Got some forging tongs here. So I opened one of these and I'm actually kind of impressed. So I figured we'll just open up the rest of them and kind of compare to my other tongs. So we've got a little user manual for the tongs. I feel like they're kind of self-explanatory, but I could be wrong. So these are the let's see, what do they call these ones? The gripping tongs. And we'll kind of compare and contrast. What does that term mean, even? I mean, comparing I get, but what are we contrasting? Anyway, so here's the Vevor, and here's the ones I believe I got these at Blacksmith Depot, and I mean these work great. I've adjusted them a little bit, and you know, like I said, they're a great pair of tongs. They've obviously been used quite a bit, but on these ones, I do like how much bigger we have up here to do some larger adjustments. It might be even easier to adjust. Now this material is definitely thicker, but I mean, I don't grip anything that hard, like hard enough to bend these, but when they heat up, they might get a little softer. We'll have to test those out. So scoot those off to the side and see what the next ones are that we pull out of here. Okay, these are, I think these are the knife gripping tongs. What do they call these? Yeah, I don't know what they call these ones. But yeah, I can already tell I definitely won't like these as much as the ones I got from Blacksmith Depot. These definitely hold on to my steel. I mean, you have a lot of gripping surface in here. Let me grab a chunk here. All right, here's a little piece. Right here, you can see, basically pop that in there, and you can hold on to that really well. I have another pair of these that are for thinner material, but same thing with these. You can heat them up and adjust them to whatever size material you've got. So as far as the Vevor ones, these ones will definitely have to be adjusted for a larger bit of material, but let's try something smaller. I mean, yeah, they definitely need to be adjusted. So, I mean, basically, right here, I don't like how far apart my hands are. So I like them to be closed a little bit more. So I would heat this up and kind of squeeze a little bit until it's, you know, where I want it in the hand. And then up here, I would figure out where I'd want to heat this up. I definitely need to heat these up and square them up to the material. But also I might want to heat up this section and spread them out a little bit if I'm going to hold on to bigger material like this. And then again, heat these up and square them up to the material. Again, not quite as nice as my Blacksmith Depot. But I mean, the material is up here is just as thick, but there's not as much gripping area. That actually may be a good thing. I don't exactly know until I try them. So that's those. And then the next ones are the wolf bit. Definitely not as good as my Blacksmith Depot. Let me get these out of here. Okay, I mean, you can definitely see the difference here. This is what I like about these wolf bit. They have a channel right down the middle here, so I can hold on to round stock like this, and it holds on to it really well this direction. And then of course you can put things in and hold it like that, larger things, whatever. But this little channel right here is, that's basically what I use these for. I mean, I use them as just regular old gripping tongs, but the majority of the time it's when I'm working with, you know, smaller round or smaller square materials, I pop them in there. These ones, while they look like they might just be good overall, you know, maybe for flat stock, more like this. But they have no channel down the middle. I could easily make that, just heat these up and then put something in there and smash it, give it a little channel, but I already have something for that. So these definitely not the best wolf jaw, but I mean, you can see there, the steel's there, little balls on the end. I don't know if I like those because I like to be able to hold where I want to hold and be comfortable, but the reins are longer. Yeah, so let's look at the next ones. Here we've got the V-bit, and again, not near as good as my Blacksmith Depot. So I'm not quite sure what size these are meant to hold on to. But again, thick material. The construction's really nice on them. I mean, they aren't as beefy as these ones. I mean, up in the bit area. But the reins are definitely larger on these ones. The Blacksmith Depot look a little more ergonomic. I mean, I don't know. It's really hard to say until I use them how well they're going to work. But just as an overall view, let me go grab a piece of square stock. I'll just use the round. So I use these for round stock as well. You can tell they hold on to that really well. This is about where I like my hands to be when I'm gripping stuff, not clear out here. But again, that's all adjustable. Then you can hold it from the side. Good to go. And these ones, I mean, definitely not as good of a grip, especially there. I don't think these are made for, I mean, I thought these said 3/4 stock, which these are 3/4 stock, but I mean, maybe not. So again, this is something that would need to be adjusted for whatever material you're using. But I mean, they feel good. They feel stout. They feel well constructed. But here's the big difference. So I can't remember the exact price. I bought these years ago. But I'm pretty sure these were about 40, 50 bucks a pair. These were 40 to 50 bucks a pair. These were 40 to 50 bucks a pair. These were 40, you know, somewhere in that range. Some, I don't think anywhere less than 40, but I definitely think somewhere more than 50, like 55, 60. Anyway, we'll just say 40. We'll just say 40 on the low end. So that's 4 of them. That's 160 bucks for those. These 4 were 70. So we're looking at, you know, a little more than 15 bucks a pair, 15, 17, 50 a pair. And honestly, for the construction and the feel of these, that's an absolute killer deal. Absolute killer deal. So again, we're back to the Chinese made stuff, I know. But again, half the price. So for somebody who's on a budget, for a good price, they're able to get into the game. So where I've said before, I try to support American as much as I can, which obviously I do. I also like to save money. So, and I get how the economics of it work. But when you're charging, 2 to 3 times as much just because it's made in America, and not necessarily because of the cost of materials, then that's hurting us more than helping us. So, of course, that's just my opinion. I don't get mad at anybody who wants to purchase American made and doesn't want to purchase Chinese made. I have no problem with that. I'm just saying that for people on a budget, they can get into the craft, whereas with this one, they might not be able to get into the craft. So there's just options out there. So I think we should put these to use and kind of see what they'll do. Let's go over and stoke up the forge. We should forge out some sort of integral something or other. So let's cut us off a little piece of coil spring. So we're just going to use these things without making any adjustments, and then just kind of see how it works. If it doesn't work so well, I'll make some adjustments. But here we go. Get that heated up. All right, I think we're hot enough to start. Okay. Get this straightened out a little bit. All right, we're good there. Okay, yeah, this isn't really holding too well. This material is definitely too big for this, but we'll make it work. All right, heat number 2. Basically, I'm just pre-forming a point. I think we're gonna do like a little paring knife or something like that. Or a petty or something of the sort. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. But these guys are definitely not gripping this larger material too well. Okay, we don't need a a point, but I just want to get this basically pre-formed, so when I widen it out, then we've got kind of a point on it. Alright, let's give this guy a couple good thwacks with this big old Bailey hammer. All right, let's widen this up a little bit on the press. Yeah, these dies are cold, it's sucking all the heat out. So like I've said before in other videos, when doing integrals, don't let your don't get too far gone with your shaping. So where we still need to thin this out a little bit and draw more material in one direction, or width anyway, you don't want to get all the way down to width and then have to try to move this bolster all the way to the end or the tip. So basically, I'm just gonna get my tip pushed over to one side, and of course I need another heat. But then I'm gonna push that bolster to the back side as well, and then from there I'm gonna start widening it up again. All right, I'm switching over to these tongs. This probably isn't quite to the point where I can use these yet, but all I'm doing is I'm pushing my bolster to the back side of the blade so that I don't have to try to do all that. Try to move the bolster clear from the center all the way to the edge when the material's, 2 inches wide. Of course, we're not getting 2 inches wide on this, but you want to do a little bit of each at a time so you don't get too far gone in one area. So these tongs are not working so well for this yet because the blade's not quite thin enough. So almost works. I don't know, maybe I just didn't have a hold of it very well. We'll give it another try after the next heat. All right, let's give them another try. Yeah, if I get a hold of them, okay. They do all right, but they're still slipping. So not quite ready for that yet. Anyway, I've got the bolster to the back side. I've got the tip, somewhat to the back side. So I'm gonna heat this front side back up again and try to spread that out again. All right, let's widen this up just a little bit more. Oh boy, yeah, these dies are so cold. Heat them up a little bit. Still really thick. Okay, let's get this thing back to the shape we're after, which is exactly, I'm not sure. Wrong tongs for that. Okay, I'm gonna give these two tongs a try. See if I can hold the flats of that blade and have a good grip on them. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's give these ones a try first. See how they do. These ones grip pretty good. Still not perfect, but they grip pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty close to where we want it. I'm gonna draw some length in this now. All right, still plugging away with these little V-bit, which are too small for the material I'm working with. But we do have this blade at a more manageable size. So see if we can start shaping this into something. The tip may be a little far gone. Maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, I can't quite get a hold of this the way I would normally get a hold of it. It's kind of a little bit harder to forge when you don't have the right tongs, but I'm trying to prove a point here. I don't know what the point is, but I'm proving it, right? Yeah, we're pretty thick on this. This might make a good outdoor knife. Pretty thick, but that's okay. So I'm gonna flip this around and use those other tongs. These guys right here that are designed for holding a blade, sorta. And then see what we can do now that this material's thinner. That definitely feels better. All right. Yeah, these definitely aren't good for blade making. Make a note of that. Just gonna see if I can get this bolster kind of worked where I want it. That's pretty good. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take my cross peen and I'm going to smack this heel that direction so I can pull this material. That's hot. So I can pull this material down. So this is my straight peen. I'll grab my heat this back up, grab my cross peen, and we'll fix that. See if I can get a good shot of what I'm trying to accomplish here. So, got my cross peen now. Boy, this is hard to hold on to. Anyway, you can kind of see what I'm doing. You can see that stretching down that direction. It's a little bit easier when you don't have a integral bolster to worry about. Okay, we're gonna use this. This is my little fullering Hardy tool. See if I have this set up right. So basically, we can just take and smash it like this and get both sides. There. That works a little better. And then while we're here, start cleaning up the bolster. And these do not want to hold on too well. But I'm gonna heat it back up and hold it from this side and pop it in there. It's easier to see what's going on. Okay, we're gonna do all this with the fullering tool. I'm gonna grab a hold of here and I'm gonna start cleaning up this bolster area. And always remember to rotate. Just to keep everything nice and centered up. Okay, see, we cleaned that up just a little bit down there. All right, let's clean this up. Get a hold of this. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. Alrighty. Getting some sort of shape on this. Got to get the spine evened out a little bit. That's somewhat close. So let me flip this around. I'm going to heat this backside up again so that we can get this bolster pushed back a little bit more again. All right, the wolf jaw tongs. What are they gonna do for us here? All right. Yeah, they grip pretty well. Probably out of all of them, they're gripping the best. All right, let's try this right here. That's perfect. There, see, we got that nice and straightened out. Yep, that's pretty good right there. So let me refine this shape, put my mark on it, and draw out a tang, and then kind of figure out what's going on with these tongs. We're almost there. I just got to clean this bolster up just a little bit so it doesn't have any sharp edges, basically. And then we'll call that good. And I know it's black, but we're not really forging. We're just cleaning stuff up. Planishing strikes. All right, I think we're done. I wasn't supposed to do a whole integral knife video, but that's what we got. Anyway, the whole point of the video was to kind of test these Vevor tongs. And overall, I'm gonna say these are 100% worth the money you would spend on them. Now, the only issue is that these were not really made for the size of material I was working with, and I could adjust them slightly to make them work better. But no, I'm gonna keep these for smaller material. So let's start with this one. This is the one that's designed for knife making. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, it'll work really well for smaller material like these. Fit great in there. If you have a long piece that needs to slide, ouch, that's still hot. Oopsie. If you need to slide, you know, all the way down to here so you can have clearance with whatever you're working with, yeah, these are great tongs for that. For blade making, not so much. They just don't wrap around far enough like my other ones to really grab a hold of that blade. So if that's what you want them for, I'd find something else. But like I said, for smaller material, great. These ones right here, they worked okay. Probably better than the ones that I have. And I think it's mainly because of just the shape, this bigger area instead of being a small, almost straight across. I don't know if that makes sense, but these work great. These wolf jaw, I feel these work better than the ones that I have, other than the fact that they don't have a channel down the center to grab material this way. That's something I could easily do, but for holding flats, these work really well. So I'd recommend those. And then these ones, definitely not meant for 3/4 inch like my other ones. It didn't really hold on to this too well. I mean, it holds on to it, but if you're doing some heavy hammering, yeah, not so much. But again, smaller material like this, it's gonna hold on really well. So, and with the grip down here, I kind of feel it's, you know, not meant for bigger stuff like the 3/4 inch. I mean, it's still not a bad grip, but it's wider than I want. So anyway, overall, the construction's great. Nice thick material, the reins are long. Totally recommended, but like I said, the only one that I wouldn't get for its specific purpose is this one right here. Definitely not the greatest knife making set of tongs. And if you're curious to see what we forged, here it is. So it's, I really don't know what it is. I mean, 5.5, this would be a great petty. It's a little thick. I mean, we're probably at 3/16 of an inch where we'd want it 1/8, 3/32, something like that. I mean, you know, it feels all right. Maybe I'll just make some sort of outdoor knife out of it. Hopefully this helped, and if you have any questions, go ahead and ask below. I'll get to your questions, I promise. And as always, I really appreciate your support, and we'll see you in the next one.